Boy, do I love me some Flyers hockey. Yes, I love Flyers hockey. Oh my goodness, it is a great pastime in the goddamn world. It is getting so shitty right now. What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to TTP Sports. As the Flyers, had a very frustrating game tonight as they lose to the Carolina Hurricanes by a score of 6-3. Pardon from the weird setup here with the iPad. It randomly died on me and I did not know that, so I have to, adjust to it with plugging it into the charger, so that's why it looks a little weird than, a little bit to what you're accustomed to. But still, going into this game, before we even get into anything, actually, the most important thing you can do is hit that subscribe button. I will greatly appreciate that. So if you're a new viewer coming to the channel looking for all your newest or latest Philadelphia sports recaps and events and news, this is definitely the place to be. It is miserable depending on the outcome, and most of the time it is very miserable. And if you are a long-time current subscriber of the channel, I am very grateful for you for being a part of and continue to looking forward to that. In the future, let's get this thing over 400 subs and continue to grow from there. So like I said, a very frustrating Flyers game today as they fall to the Carolina Hurricanes by a score of 6-3. Literally everything that you thought of that went wrong in this game went wrong. And the fact that is, I thought this was a very winnable game from the way you started out. You score 50 seconds into the game. Ivan Provorov, a beautiful pass from Claude Giroux. He manages to bury that. Okay, Carolina decides to challenge that for goaltender interference. Okay, good goal. Carolina takes a penalty from that, and you go to the power play. Hey, let's try to put this team away early, get them out of the game before they can even begin it. No, once again, the Flyers power play showcases a really just shift in momentum because the Flyers power play gives the other team momentum, and I've never seen one team lose so much momentum on their own goddamn power play, because basically after that 2-minute power play at the beginning of the game, after you scored the first goal, it was all Carolina from there. They tie the game, you get a turnover in your own zone, as that was very frequent later on in the game. It didn't happen as much in the first period, but getting later on in the first period, not throughout the entire first period, but that became a frequent factor. Ivan Provorov loses a puck battle down low. They can't clear it. Aho takes the puck away. He hands it off to Teravainen, who hands it up right back to Sebastian Aho, who one times it past Carter Hart. Maybe a puck that Carter Hart wants back. There were a couple of those goals today for Hart. But when you turn over the puck so much in your own zone and you let these teams, continue to maintain pressure in there, the pucks are eventually going to go in bunches, and that's exactly what happened tonight. You can't constantly give up 40-plus shots a game. Even though Carolina, they only had 36 shots, the past so many games, there's at least been 35-plus shots from each team. That can't happen consistently, because when you're consistently allowing 35 shots a game, yeah, these goals are eventually going to start going in, and your goaltenders are not going to steal you as many games as they have been this early in the season. It's just not going to happen. They tie the game at 1. Then eventually the Flyers take a penalty. Okay, they kill off a couple of penalties in this period, actually. On the second penalty kill, Joel Farabee breaks up the ice, makes a beautiful move, just jukes out the defender, breaks his ankles, goes 5-hole on Raanta, makes it a 2-1 game, a beautiful goal by Joel Farabee. And after this goal, okay, maybe you try to get some momentum back after you kill this penalty off, but no, once again, the Flyers just are a team that just shifts the momentum in a different direction, from their own goddamn mental mistakes, because at the end of this goddamn period, I just witnessed as many turnovers as oh my goodness, this team, as the game progressed, just committed more and more turnovers. My God, in their own goddamn zone, for crying out loud, to where Carolina's just saying, thank you. Basically, at the end, it's the entire rest of the game. But, okay, you survived that end of the first period. You go up 2-1. Try to have a better start in the second. Oh, God, you couldn't have a worse start in the second period because, not even 30 seconds into it, Sebastian Aho snipes one top shelf past Carter Hart. Maybe another goal that Carter Hart wants back, definitely not a good way to start a goddamn period. And this was a very weird way to start a goddamn period, because Aho scores. And then eventually the Flyers' second line has some possession time in there. Ristolainen left wide open on the right side, fires it past Raanta, makes it a 3-2 game. That's Ristolainen's first goal in a Flyers uniform and Morgan Frost's first point since coming up to the Flyers this year. Okay, you're back up 3-2 after, allowing that very early goal. But then you know what? For some reason, Alain Vigneault likes to use the fourth line after they take the lead on that opening faceoff, after they score a goal. Again, it happened a couple of times last week. Well, not a couple of weeks ago. Remember that game against Dallas where the Flyers, had a chance to come back into that game? They score a goal, they put the fourth line out there, and then they score immediately right after that. Yeah, that's what happened here. I think it was the Dallas game, at least. It's happened a little bit, a couple of times this year. Because you know why? Turnover in your own goddamn zone by Nate Thompson. Carolina pounces on that. Hart has to make one sprawling save, but he can't make enough because, the puck goes right back to the stick, and no one just sees Jesper Fast coming in here, and he puts it by Hart, top shelf, ties the game at 3. So not even 2 minutes into this period, there are 3 goals in total, 2 by Carolina. So the game is tied at 3 early on in this period. And you know what happens again? More turnovers, and turnovers galore because it's Jesperi Kotkaniemi a little over 5 minutes into this period makes it a 4-3 game. And then you know what? More turnovers, because you know why? Everyone loves goddamn turnovers in this goddamn game. So you got Lorentz literally on the right side, has all the space in the world, just people puck watching at this point, walks right in, goes backhand top shelf past Carter Hart, making it a 5-3 game. And yeah, the Flyers definitely had their chances in this period. I wish they would shoot more. Definitely. It really looks like they're trying to force shit out there. But you go into the second period, second intermission actually, down 5-3. And then you know what? You go into that third period, you allow another early goal because once again you turn the goddamn puck over. You had chances early on in this third period, though, to score. And I'll get into those chances because, oh boy, my goodness. But still, you turn the puck over in your own zone. Once again, Carolina pounces on it, and Andrei Svechnikov snipes it past Carter Hart and makes it 6-3. Maybe another goal that Carter Hart wants back. I'm not blaming Hart for this game at all. There were way too many defensive breakdowns, and there were way too many instances where you shot yourself in the goddamn foot. A game where you actually get above 2 goals, your defense collapses, and your goaltender doesn't have his best game. It's one of those instances. And oh boy, that third period as well, Flyers actually getting some pressure in the offensive zone. Puck all the way out in the crease. Ranta's completely out of his net. In comes Travis Sanheim. There should have been a penalty on this play regardless, but still. My guy hits the post on a wide open net. Hits the post. And that was the instance where I was sitting in my goddamn seat, wrapped my hood around my head, and just sat back because, that's how it's going for us right now. That's how it's going for this goddamn team, and it can't be any more frustrating. It really can't. That's 5 straight losses for this team now, and what happens? I have no idea. I have no idea what happens, because if you look at the stats for this game, shots on goal, 36-23 in favor of Carolina. Flyers won in the faceoff circle, 53%. Each team goes scoreless on their power plays. The Flyers over 3 and the Hurricanes over 4. So once again, the Flyers' putrid power play shows its ugly head. Physical game, 20 hits to 16 in favor of Carolina. A lot of block shots in this game, 19-10 in favor of the Flyers. Flyers gave away the puck 16 times, so yeah, that's definitely a problem. Shot totals per period, 17-6 in the first in favor of Carolina, 12-9 in the second in favor of the Flyers, and 10-5 in the third in favor of Carolina. Penalties in this game, there were 7 in total. 7 in total. And it's just, my goodness. My goodness, this is just fucking shit. I don't know what else to say. That's basically the only words I can use to describe what I am witnessing in the past couple of games. You know me, I try to be a positive person. I really do, because I don't think this Flyers team still is as putrid as what they're showing, but right now it's very fucking ugly. It is getting old at this point. To, the breakdowns with this team, the mental collapses, just, the laziness in their own zone, just leaving their goaltenders out to dry, and the lack of scoring. It really is becoming an issue right now, because it's still Claude Giroux that is your best player out there. Claude Giroux, 33, 34 years old, is still the leading point producer for this team, and that is a major goddamn fucking problem. It is. It really is. Claude Giroux, 7 goals. He has 17 points. So if I look at the leaders for the Flyers in terms of everything right now, Claude Giroux leads this team in points with 17. He is the leading goal scorer on this team with 7, and he is the leading assist man with 10. Claude Giroux is leading this team in every offensive stat possible. That's a problem. That is a major problem. Because right now, Couturier, he's still struggling. Atkinson hasn't scored a goal in a while. Konechny, he's very hot and cold. Joel Farabee, he had a very nice goal today. Hopefully he builds on that. He's had a couple of goals in his past couple of games. Hopefully he can find a way to build off that. Justin Braun has 8 points. He's the defenseman with the most points this year. That's a problem. Ivan Provorov, putrid game. That line combination of Laughton, Lindblom, and James Van Riemsdyk was putrid tonight. I'm trying to look at their stats from this game, actually, so I can see which specific player was worse on the ice tonight for the Flyers at this game. Okay, so if I go to the Flyers roster, so Travis Sanheim, a -3, Zach McEwen, -2, Scott Laughton, -2, Oscar Lindblom, a -3, James Van Riemsdyk, a -2, Nate Thompson, a -2, Morgan Frost, -1, Rasmus Ristolainen, -3, Bunnaman, Justin Braun, -1s. Oh yeah, Connor Bunnaman was also called up today. Max Willman was sent back down to the Lehigh Valley Phantoms. So I guess that was something. But I don't know what to say. Because, honest to God, this is a type of game, for as embarrassing as it is, this is the type of game that is a fireable offense to anyone on that bench. I'm not saying it's going to happen. I don't think AV gets fired at all. I think we're still too early to fire Alain Vigneault. I don't think that should happen at this point, because looking at the rest of the coaching market, who the hell is even out there to hire as a coach? I think one of these assistants should be fired, i.e. Michel Therrien, for, this putrid power play setup, this putrid power play system that's constantly giving other teams momentum as, the games go along. That is a obvious problem. The major problem. Does Chuck Fletcher, call the phones, looking around the league, trying to make a trade, trying to fix this mess? Because I don't think the majority of this is Chuck Fletcher's fault. He is the guy that literally reshaped the roster this season. So at this point, do you think is it the coaching staff that's the issue? Is it the players that are still the issue? I have no fucking clue. I don't put blame on Chuck Fletcher for this. He was the guy that had a mission this offseason to even change the roster. But does he still try to make those attempts to make more changes? Is he going to sacrifice another guy off the roster? James Van Riemsdyk, I'm looking at you. Scott Laughton, I'm looking at you. And I really hate to say this, because I hate hating on the guy, but Oscar Lindblom hasn't been just anything this year. And I'm trying to look at I don't want to look at his stats too, because Oscar Lindblom, if I reset everything, so Lindblom this year, he still only has 1 point this year, and he's a -9. And granted, he's been on the fourth line a couple of times. In those days, the fourth line was awful, but still. Lindblom hasn't been anything this year. James Van Riemsdyk hasn't done anything this year, and it's a major issue. It just continues to be an issue. JVR has 6 points. He only has 2 goals and 4 assists. We pay JVR to be a goal scorer and a producer on the power play, and he's not doing that right now. Granted, the power play is putrid, but JVR still needs to find a way to put the puck in the goddamn net, regardless power play or 5-on-5. Oscar Lindblom, right now he's getting paid $3 million, and he's doing nothing right. I hate hating on him. I love Oscar Lindblom, the person. I respect what he went through, what he battled. But right now, he's not cutting it. He just isn't. You got to win games. And right now, most of these players on this roster just aren't cutting it right now, because everyone is struggling at once besides Claude fucking Giroux. And the goaltenders, even though Carter Hart allowed goals in this game that I probably would think he would want back, he's a little far from the issue on this goddamn team. He is. And, it keeps coming back to the conversation. You don't have your top 2 center. You don't have your number 1 defenseman. I know the question is, what happens when those guys come back? Is it magically going to fix everything? It's probably not going to magically fix everything. Hopefully it can make some things a little better, but it's not going to magically fix what, the struggles on this team and the players that are struggling to produce right now. That's why I do think right now, what's your best option? Is it a trade? Is it a fire of one of these assistant coaches? I have no idea what the hell's happening. I don't think Alain Vigneault is going to be the guy that's fired, even though you never know. He could be in the hot seat with this organization. You just don't know that. But I don't know. I don't know. I'm just out of answers. I don't have any answers right now. I try to remain as positive as possible, but after a game like this where you consistently stabbed yourself in the foot and you're continuing to put out effort and effort and effort like this night after night, it's becoming an issue. It's becoming a problem. And I still believe that this team is not as putrid as what they're showing, but I have no idea how you fix that with the team struggling like this. Because it's not a fun time right now. You lost 5 straight. And right now, your record on the season, if I look at your standings, you are currently 8-7-4, 20 points on the season. So you were a game away from getting to the 500 mark, and you were in 7th place in your division. So, yeah, something has to change right now because this Metro isn't getting any easier. Just isn't. It is not. And I don't know what the fuck happens. I just don't. Hopefully you guys have answers. I would definitely love to hear those answers in the comment section below. I'll definitely check those out, so do not forget to leave those down there. Yeah, I just don't know the answers, guys. And I know you don't expect me to know the answers, but right now I can understand we're all frustrated at this point, and we don't know what the hell is going to happen. At this point, we want changes. We don't know what's going to happen. So, like I said, do not forget to leave those comments in the comment section below. Do not forget to drop a like on this video. Do not forget to check out the Painted Lions, which I'm a part of. Their links are down in the description below. Also, don't forget to check out the links to Bros Media, the Flyer.pod merch website, and also Flyers Nitty Gritty. All that stuff is down in the description below. We are going to do a Flyer.pod podcast later tonight, so definitely check that out. And like I said at the beginning of the video, the most important thing you can do is hit that sub button. I will greatly appreciate that. And I will see you next time.